time zone.
Okay. Good afternoon. I'd like to call the City Council work session to order, and I believe Mr. Torres is going to take it away for us today. And roll call, it looks like we really don't have to do that, but we all know that Mayor Lord is enjoying this week with her grandson getting married. So, Mr. Torres, thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Osborne, members of the council, Arizona in Action, formerly our very own Goodyear in Action, have proven to be great community partners, whether they're promoting a healthy lifestyle through education and awareness, physical activities, community outreach programs such as Lids on Kids, and other nutritional components. They have adopted a holistic approach to wellness in the community. I'd like to introduce Brenda Bernardi. She's one of the board members for Arizona in Action, as they will provide a draft of a healthy lifestyle plan for Goodyear. I will say that we are the first city that this plan is being rolled out to. And while there is no formal action needed this evening, we do hope to incorporate some of these items in our bigger picture plan, such as the general plan or the Parks and Recreation master plan. So with that, I'd like to invite Brenda up and have her proceed.
Welcome, Brenda.
Thank you. So lots of familiar faces. So I met a lot of you when we had our All-America City committee those years ago. And part of that process, part of that experience, we all got together and we said, let's keep doing some great things for the city of Goodyear. That expanded to the entire state. We're now really excited about getting other cities on board with some of the initiatives that we have piloted here in Goodyear. Some initiatives like the Lids on Kids that have been successful. One of the big studies that we undertook was in partnership with ASU, did some research on what is available here in the city of Goodyear and in the West Valley, and we have some recommendations for how we can roll out some more holistic approaches to the city of Goodyear in particular, is where we wanted to start with this one. So I am going to hand things over to one of our board members, Deb Robinson, and also Dean Brennan. They're really the stars of this presentation, so I'm just going to excuse myself and let them take it away.
Okay, great.
Vice Mayor Osborne, council members, we really appreciate this opportunity to talk with you tonight about our draft Healthy Lifestyle Plan. I'm Debbie Robinson. I'm a registered dietitian. I've been in the health promotion field for about 25 years, and most recently I worked with the Maricopa County Department of Public Health. And that's how this all kind of got started. I met my colleague, Dean Brennan. Dean, do you want me to introduce you, or?
Sure.
Okay. Well, Dean is a faculty associate at Arizona State University, and he works with the urban planning design students, so the future planners of our cities. And he's also a retired Phoenix city planner. He's actively engaged with many organizations, public health agencies, and cities to help them develop and create healthier environments. And I've had this opportunity to work with Dean through the health department. We collaborated with Arizona in Action, and we've come up with this draft plan that can also be a tool to help with the general plan update for Goodyear. So that's how we want to really tie this in today. And so just to get started, we wanted you to start thinking maybe about what do you think are some characteristics of a healthy community? What do you think, what does it look like to you? Anyone have any ideas?
Oh, are you
you're
asking
asking.
them?
I'm asking.
We're just letting you talk.
We're sitting there looking at
Yeah.
I've been in academia. I like to ask questions. But anyway, simply stated, what it is, it's really making the healthy choice the easy choice. And that's what we really want to try to do. We want to create opportunities for physical activity. We want to promote bicycle, pedestrian-oriented design. We want to provide open spaces like parks and wildlife corridors. And of course, being a dietitian, I want to provide accessibility and availability of nutritious foods for all people. Well, I think that we're already starting to do this in Goodyear, and here's a few snapshots of some healthy lifestyle in action. So you'll see a lot of children in these pictures, but this doesn't just extend to children, it's really all community members. And we want to provide safe opportunities for physical activity and where kids can enjoy nutritious foods like fruits and vegetables. And we want to make healthy living the default. And what we're doing already in Goodyear is we're starting to replace those junk food fundraisers with move-a-thon events. We're encouraging active transport so that kids are rewarded who walk or bike or scooter to school. We also want to focus on safety by preventing head injuries, and that's through the Lids on Arizona Kids program, which you heard about already. Finally, we want to encourage healthy foods. And one of the things that we've done is actually gone into the schools and done some taste tests with the children on different fruits and vegetables. And a lot of parents think, oh, kids won't eat vegetables. They will. You just have to give them a variety of different ones to try, different colors. And many of them have never tried a champagne mango. So those kind of things are available and making it fun.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What do you do about adults that don't eat vegetables?
Don't go there.
That's,
No, I'm just.
you
know
give it
some
cool names
people
like that.
who are-
Yeah, keep
That was a
going, keep
rhetorical.
going.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
That was a rhetorical question. I apologize.
I could have an answer for that, but
Well,
we'll wait
it's all
till
right.
the end. We'll wait till the end.
That's okay. Thank you.
So I
I'm
think
back.
I think that we're on our way in Goodyear, but I think that we can continue to make strides because we really do want to be the healthiest city in the nation. And one of the things I wanted to mention to you earlier is that I've actually been a Goodyear resident for the past 10 years. I live up in Estrella Mountain Ranch, and it's a great place to live in a great community, and we want to make that even better. And so this brings us to the topic for tonight, which is the Healthy Lifestyle Plan. So I want to talk a few minutes about what this is all about and what the components are. So a Healthy Lifestyle Plan really has these two components. It consists of a community food assessment, and in that, as it states, we're looking at identifying food issues in the community. Do we have access? Do we have availability to nutritious food choices? Or is it not accessible to all members? And also, we want to incorporate an active lifestyle assessment, and that really gives us that overview of our community amenities and how we can make lifestyle choices that are going to impact positive health and well-being. We did bring our draft Healthy Lifestyle Plan, which that's the cover of it that you see there. We do have a copy of that we can circulate. Again, it is in a draft plan, and we'll talk about, toward the end tonight, some next steps and how that you could be involved. And so the purpose of a Healthy Lifestyle Plan is that it looks at the community as a whole. And what we want to do is we really want to address that chronic disease burden of our community. CDC just came out with the latest statistics on obesity, and we keep creating more and more categories. So by creating healthier environments, we can reduce our chronic disease burden. We also want to assess the built environment, and that is the community design. Do we make our communities so that there's opportunity for physical activity and there's easy access to those nutritious foods? And finally, we want to make recommendations to ensure that residents have this availability and these opportunities to engage in an active lifestyle. And the way that we do this is we raise public awareness, we get the community involved, and we implement policies that are supportive of public health. And Dean, I think you're next.
This is my turn.
Your turn.
Vice Mayor, members of council, first of all, thank you for allowing us to visit with you this evening about the Healthy Lifestyle Plan. I want to also thank AIA, or Arizona in Action, and particularly Jen Barber and Deb for their assistance throughout the process. It was a great opportunity for students at ASU to actually take on a real-world project and learn about an issue that is becoming a major issue for many communities, and certainly an issue that planners themselves need to be more involved with. I do have, this is the draft of the plan, and if we could just pass around, you can take a look at it. We've continued, the students worked on this fall semester of last year. We've continued with a group of primarily, I think, health professionals and others who have an interest in healthy lifestyle to refine the plan, and we are hoping that by October of this year we will have the draft revised and ready for public review with regards to some of the recommendations excuse me, and goals that are in the plan. With regards to preparing the healthy lifestyle plan, there were two components that we looked at. First of all, healthy eating, and the second was active living. And as you can see, the first letter of each of those four words spells heal. And in fact, a number of communities, particularly in California, use that as kind of the title or the focus for their healthy program. So again, helping communities heal themselves as it relates to a healthy lifestyle. Well, we started looking at healthy eating with regards to doing a community food assessment. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in detail in just a minute. But again, that really gets to take a look at what exists in your community, and then addressing what might help improve the community as it relates to having access to healthy food. Many communities have spent time and identified what the local food system is, and then build on what exists again and take a look at what could happen in the future. Examples are community gardens and farmers markets. The Duncan Family Farm is a good example of what exists today, but are there opportunities for that type of agricultural use to be expanded in the future? Are there opportunities to convert cotton fields to fields that are actually growing food? Food policy councils, again, many communities have food policy councils, and that's certainly something that Goodyear can think about as it relates to moving into the future and having a group that is actually actively pursuing that whole idea of local food. And then strategies and recommendations, and those will be included in the, those are included, some are included, and there'll be more included in the final version of the Healthy Lifestyle Plan. Active living is the second component, and again, we worked on an active lifestyle assessment for Goodyear, and I'll be talking about that again in just a minute. We know that you're in the process, or will be starting the process, of updating your Parks and Open Space Master Plan, looking at trails and a connectivity system in your community, including bicycle trails and the bicycle system. Again, those are important amenities and part of the healthy lifestyle infrastructure that many communities have in place, but need to expand those systems. And then again, we'll have strategies and recommendations. I mentioned the Goodyear Community Food Assessment. The first thing we did was look at food deserts, and this map is actually from the USDA. The USDA has identified food deserts, I think, for almost every community in the United States. What we identified for Goodyear was that there was actually only, based on the federal criteria, there was only one area that could be considered a food desert in Goodyear. I think what we did at that point was to take a look at are there local situations or local instances where you take a different approach to measuring what is a food desert. For example, how far will people walk to get to a grocery store? How far will people walk or bike to get to other uses, recreational uses? And that begins to help you define what is a food desert on more of a local level. We looked at fast food. That's certainly part of what.
I'm sorry, where was our food desert? You said there was one here.
Oh, it's near the airport. It was kind of strange. I think it was simply an area that was not developed, and for that reason there were no grocery stores or whatever, no access to food. So again, this is why it's important that you look at this on a local level, because again, the USDA is looking at from a national level or looking at maps of of Arizona or the Phoenix metro area, and they're not really understanding what all is going on in your community. We looked at existence of fast food establishments. I don't believe this image is from Goodyear, at least I hope not.
I don't know what that grinder is.
Maybe it's from, well, anyway, maybe we can blame Glendale. It's not an unusual picture for communities in the United States, and certainly I think we all recognize the issues that relate to fast food restaurants and the nutrition content of fast food. And then the third picture is what we refer to as slow food. There is a slow food movement, and this picture happens to be a community garden actually in Denver, Colorado. But this was a community garden that my wife and I visited this summer, and it's here to point out that this is the kind of activity or the kind of improvements that have a positive impact on a community and provide an opportunity for people to get out and grow their own food. But as the director or the coordinator of this community garden said to me, she said, it's important that people learn to grow their own food, but more important than that is the fact that a community garden brings people together and creates community. So it really serves a multitude of functions. The Goodyear Active Lifestyle Assessment, again, the students looked at what exists in Goodyear, parks and trails, and the first bullet point is there are 18 city parks, and the map, or what the students identified, were the location of the parks, and you can see that many of the parks are located in the eastern portion of the community, and we identified a deficit of parks primarily in the central and western portion of the community. And this is not being provided as a criticism of Goodyear. It's just, again, this is where you are today, and maybe you need to, as you're going through your process of preparing your Parks Master Plan and your General Plan Update, to look at opportunities for parks in those areas where there is a deficit. The park standards for Goodyear, it's currently 10.3 acres of parkland for every 1,000 people, which is, I believe, fairly close to the national standard. I think one area of caution is that, and I know that the City of Phoenix is guilty of this, but in identifying the total acreage for parks, Phoenix always includes the preserves, the mountain preserves, which are a significant area, and they're certainly important to the community, but from a recreational standpoint, there are limitations as far as how you use a mountain preserve as opposed to how you might use a flatland park. So you really need to make some distinction between your flatland parks and your open space and mountain parks. Parks Master Plan, again, that's to be updated this year. Open Space and Trails Master Plan. I think it's going to be, at least this was information that the students collected last year, was going to be part of your Parks Master Plan. And then we do mention the Estrella Mountain Regional Park and how much of that park is actually in the city. And again, that's a real asset for the city. It's a recreational opportunity for residents as well as non-residents, and to a certain degree might help attract people to the community from a standpoint of tourism. I think that's something that I know Avondale is looking at, is how can they take advantage of some of their natural open space areas as for tourism purposes. We started the public process as far as the Healthy Lifestyle Plan with the Goodyear Garden Party, which was last year on October 13th. This was held in conjunction with Food Day, the National Food Day, and it was actually held in this very room. We had a very good turnout from the community. It was an opportunity to talk about what is going on in your community today, what would people like to see happen in your community in the future. And the bullet points were some of the comments and feedback that we got from the people who participated in that in the garden party. The first one is economic development benefits. I think that we put this first because I believe that this is important that communities begin to think about food, healthy lifestyle as an important economic development tool for your community. And this is, again, something that businesses as well as people who want to move to your community are looking for. Is there a healthy lifestyle? What is the community's policies as far as healthy lifestyle? People want to see accessibility to recreational amenities, and that's not just driving to the recreational amenities, but opportunities to ride your bike or to walk to recreational amenities. They talked about incentives for supermarkets and corner stores, community planning for health, and this kind of gets to the general plan update process. Community safety, they want to see more community gardens and farmers markets. Walkability and bikeability are absolutely critical. Again, this is something we heard people say over and over again. They want to be able to walk to the park. They want to be able to walk to the recreation facility. They want to be able to walk to the grocery store. And for many people, it's not an easy process to walk from their home or bike from their home to any of these amenities. Affordability of nutritious and culturally appropriate foods. This was mentioned by several people, again, because of the diversity of ethnicity in various communities, not only Goodyear, but many communities in the valley. We need to be thinking about not only thinking about how we address the needs of all people from various cultural backgrounds. School gardens they felt were important. This is an opportunity for kids to learn how to grow food and learn that food doesn't just necessarily just come from the supermarket. And then agricultural land protection. And that, again, is something, if we're really sincere about growing food locally, we need to be thinking about how we preserve some agricultural land for that purpose. And we're finding that it doesn't take a lot of land to grow a lot of food. I mean, if you have a garden in your backyard, it's amazing how much you can produce as an individual.
Dean, real quick, Maureen, I have so many different times on every clock, and including our own iPads, and I thought that we needed to start at 6 for the public hearing.
Ooh,
okay. I'm sorry, Dean, so we're going to have
right.
to.
Okay, that's fine.
And if I look at that clock, it says 10 till 6, and, you know, yours says 6:01, so I'm not sure what time it is right now. Do you have a wrap-up coming up here?
Yeah,
and,
we'll just go through these final
okay,
slides.
thank you.
These are just some pictures from the garden party, some action steps. I know what you want to.
Well, I think if we get toward the end here is just the next steps and where you would come in. We're continuing to refine the plan. You see it in draft form. And so here are some of the next steps. And what you're going to see on here is community input. And that's one of the things with the general plan update, finding out what's important to the community in terms of a healthy lifestyle. How can we get them involved? And also seeking support from the city as champions of this effort. We can help in this process as well. We have resources. There's many agencies that can help. We would probably do more assessment because what we did was just very quick and simple, but really to get more information would be helpful and possibly work with the Citizen Advisory Committee. Here's our contact information, which you have on the slide. If we can be of help to you, we would be happy to do that. And because of time, I don't know that we'll have time for questions, but you do have our contact information.
Thank you very much. Bill, did you have a quick question?
Yeah, I did. You know, is it appropriate for these guys to make a presentation to the general plan committee once they stand up?
I don't know. We can talk about it.
It's a generic question that
I don't know.
I've never been part of.
Of the general plan. Well,
General
you know,
plan
everything
process.
that you're putting together is very timely, and I really think that it strengthens many of the aspects that we've been asking to have within our city. You know, the community gardens, the open space, the trails, you know, the bike trails, all those things really, you know, this just solidifies it, and I think that it's an excellent idea that I know you're still in draft form, and we look forward to that finalization, and I don't see why we couldn't, you know, talk about, you know, presentation to the next level. So thank you very much. Any other questions? Or are we good to go?
Could we get a copy of this PowerPoint they just had?
Would you like to do that, or would you like to wait until we have the final
It
draft?
just
Whichever.
says stuff. It's
Okay.
just this little.
You can have this. That's
Yeah,
certainly no
it's
problem.
good. Yeah,
Thank you very much, and thank you for.
Oh,
yes,
thank you.
Joe?
Just real quick, I want to thank Deb for the package you sent me. I appreciate it.
We appreciate your hard work. Okay, so information, council members report, and managers' current events.
Yes.
I think we can wait till the end of
think October.
the next meeting.
Our
So
plans do that.
we will adjourn and give us 5 minutes so they can switch everything. Thank you.